If you are learning to multiply fractions, the first thing is to make sure that they are both fractions. So we could have a mixed number, which means we have a whole number and a fraction that are together, or we could have a whole number, which we can make into a fraction. So in this example, both of these are fractions. So once you have two fractions, what you can do is you can multiply straight across. So we're going to multiply 3 and 5, which are both in our numerator, which is what the top of our fraction is called. So 3 times 5 is 15. And then we will multiply it across our denominator, which is the bottom number. So 4 times 9. 4 times 9 is 36. So this could be hard for some students to figure out, can this simplify? Does it simplify? So I kind of give a few rules for my students. So for the first thing I ask them to check is, are they both even? And that's a quick check for them to see if it divides by 2. So 15 is odd, 36 is even, so they do not divide by 2. So the next thing I'm going to ask them to check is for 3, like can they divide by 3? And if your students really aren't sure, it takes a little bit longer, but what they can do is just make a list. Just keep adding 3's. So when they're making this list, they'll notice that 15 is on it, so that number does divide by 3, and then they're going to keep making the list because we have to figure out if 36 is going to be on it. And when they keep making the list, 36 is on it. So we know that these divide by 3. The other thing that's really helpful with having a list is if they're not sure, okay, great, this divides by 3, but what makes it divide by 3? This list is helpful because the students can look and say, okay, 15 divided by 3. Well, that took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. So it took me adding 3 to itself 5 times. So I'm going to put a 5 here. The same with 36. If they're not sure how many times 36 divides by 3, they can count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that was 12 times. So 3 over 4 times 5 over 9 gives you 5 over 12. So this is one way that you can do it. And then I had the students ask the question again, are they both even? And if they were both even, then we would try to divide by 2. We already have our list for 3's, so we know that these cannot divide by 3 because 5 is not on my list. The only other number I have them check when we're first learning multiplying fractions is 5. And so if I made my list of 5's, I have 5, 10, 15, so I skip over 12. So just to show it again, we're going to multiply across the top, which is called the numerator. So 2 times 3, which gives me 6. And then we're going to multiply across the bottom, which is 5 times 7. Then we multiply across the bottom, which is 5 times 7. That's the denominator. So 5 times 7 is 35. So again, I would start by asking my students to check if these numbers are even. 6 is even, but 35 is not. Next, they would see if they're on our list of 3's, which we already have. 6 is on our list of 3's. We skip 35. And then I would have them check for 5, 5, 10. We skip over 6. So this is simplest form for this one. So when you're multiplying fractions, you're going to multiply across the numerator and across the denominator, and then you're going to simplify.